Hi everyone, welcome to OCD Unfiltered. I'm Saika, sharing my experience of living with OCD in my second video. If you have ever had OCD, you have probably asked yourself these questions many times. If I know this fear does not make sense, why does it still feel so real? The question bothered me for years. I knew my thoughts were irrational, yet it still felt completely convincing. If you have ever experienced that, this video is for you and whomever you know has OCD. Today I'm going to explain why OCD feels so real and why understanding this changes the way I looked at the recovery. OCD is not a lack of intelligence. One of the biggest conception about OCD is that people think it's simply overthinking. It is not. People with OCD are often fully aware that the fear does not make logical sense. The problem is not lack of intelligence. Problem is that emotional part of the brain keeps sending danger signals. Your logical brain says everything is okay, but your emotional brain keeps saying, what if it is not? That conflict creates enormous anxiety. And every day Uh, there are some examples I would like to explain you. Everyday examples. Think about some common OCD situations. You lock the door, the front door. 5 seconds later, your brain says that, did you really lock it? You wash your hands properly. Then suddenly you think, what if it is still contaminated? This is OCD. You send an email and then, what if I made a terrible mistake? This is OCD, OCD thoughts. You pray, and then what if I did not pray correctly? Notice something very interesting here. The fear changes, but the pattern stays exactly the same way it is. That is the OCD pattern. Now I'll explain you the smoke example, smoke alarm example. Now imagine in your house you have a smoke alarm and normally it rings only when there is a fire, real fire. Now imagine that alarm becomes faulty. Now it rings when you are making tea, it rings when you are cooking something, it rings sometimes for absolutely no reason. So tell me, would you call the fire department even a single time for any one of these reasons? Probably not. So eventually you had realized the problem is not the house. The problem is the alarm that sends wrong signal. That's exactly what happens in OCD. Your brain alarms system becomes over protective. It keeps warning you even there when there is no actual danger. That is, keeps on sending you the signals. The feeling is real. Here is something very important thing I would like to explain all of you. The feeling is real. The anxiety is also real. The anxiety due to the feeling is also real. The racing heart is also real. The uncertainty is also real. But the danger usually is not. Many people with OCD confuse emotional certainty with factual certainty. Just because something feels dangerous does not automatically mean it is dangerous. OCD creates a false sense of urgency. OCD makes you a false signal that creates anxiety and hypertension in your body. Reassurance, why reassurance doesn't work? Because many of us try to solve OCD by checking again. We ask someone for reassurance. We search Google. We replay events in our mind for a few minutes. Maybe for some time we feel better. And then the brain asks, the same question. What if? What if it doesn't? And we are back at the beginning again. That's why reassurance only provides temporary relief. It feeds the OCD cycle instead of breaking it. It doesn't break the cycle, it feeds the cycle. So recovery begins here. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in my last 9 years of life with OCD is recovery doesn't begin when thoughts disappear. Recovery begins when we stop treating every false alarm like a real emergency. The goal is not eliminate every illustrative thought. The goal is to change how we respond to the thoughts. The shift changed everything to me. So that is where you have to start working on for the recovery. Now closing, I want to say if there is one thing I would like to remember from today's video, if it is the feelings are real, but your feelings are not always facts. Feelings and facts are different. If you have OCD, you are not weak. You are not alone. You are not broken. Your brain alarm system has become overprotective. That's all. The good news is that people can learn healthier ways of responding to those false alarms. If this video helped you understand OCD a little better, subscribe to OCD Unfiltered, share this, like this, so that more people can get to know. I'm going to produce more number of videos. Uh, Probably in the next video, we'll answer another important question, that what is exactly our intrusive thoughts and why are they feel so believable. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe and share this video, and let me know in the comment what next topic you'd like to hear from me. Thank you. Bye bye.